Hi everybody, and welcome to the course MNGT 4900 for Spring 2 of 2022 here at Webster University. I'm Dr. Dustin Smith. I am going to be your instructor for the next 8 weeks here. So just a little bit about myself. I'm full-time faculty here. I've been teaching here since 2013 actually. I'm an associate professor of strategy and corporate social responsibility. So with my work I look at a lot of stuff like corporate reputation, wrongdoing, and the intersection that it has with business strategy. So I do a lot of stuff with things like shared value creation and strategic planning and whatnot. So if you're interested in that stuff, I'd be happy to talk to you about it further. I've been teaching this course ever since I came here, so well over 8 years now. Thoroughly enjoy it. I don't get to teach it online as much, so this is definitely a newer experience for me, and I'm sure it is for you as well. But you know, with COVID and restrictions still, a lot of restrictions still in place, a lot of our students are still, proving to desire online courses. So we're seeing a lot of enrollments here, hence why this section is being offered online. All right. So I won't take up too much of your time here. I just want to give a brief overview of the course and kind of run down what we're going to be going through each week. So this is a strategy course. It's meant to be a capstone course for your program. So for most of you, this should be one of the final courses that you're taking in the sequence for your degree. So what that means is a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about, you're going to need to draw on a lot of the stuff that you've learned in other classes throughout the program. Don't just rely on what you're getting here in this particular course. All right. So we do a lot of case analysis here, where you're going to be reading a case about a company, and it's going to present you with some ambiguous problems, much like you would experience in real life, all right, on the job. And it's your job, it's your duty here to kind of pull from your own insight, from your own knowledge bank, and draft creative, compelling, and critically thought out responses to the problems faced by these particular companies in these case studies. So the case method is going to be pretty much the main tool for analysis that we're going to be utilizing in this course here. All right, so let's just go through here really quick. So hopefully this should not be a surprise to you as far as the Canvas shell goes. All right, if you haven't ordered the text yet, we have the first 4 chapters uploaded to the library that you can go ahead and take a look at. Granted, we're going to be covering about 2 chapters a week, so this is only 2 weeks worth of stuff here. So be sure to get this textbook ordered as soon as possible, or pick it up through the bookstore. All right. That being said, yes, we are going through about 2 chapters a week, so it's going to be somewhat heavy in terms of reading. All right, so try not to get too behind in reading on each of the chapters here. All right. As far as the syllabus goes, rather straightforward. I inputted my contact information here. I actually need to I need to update my email address. I'm going to do that right now so you guys can see it here. All right. I don't know why my Gmail popped up here, but my correct email address is dustinsmith64@webster.edu. Right, that's the one that you're going to want to reach me at. I am on campus if you're on campus as well. All right, you can reach me in EAB 387. This is my office phone number, 314-246-4259. We are out of the office a lot, actually, kind of going every which way, meetings, and a lot of our classes are online, so we're not really holding kind of traditional 9 to 5 office hours this term. So really the best way of reaching me is my cell phone number. Feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. Most of the time when you call, I let it go to voicemail, and I just check my voicemail because I get so many spam calls. So text with your name is probably the best bet. Or if you just want to leave a voicemail, I'll get back to you within an hour or 2 or something like that. All right, this is definitely the way to go here. Okay. I'll let you go through the course outcomes. I won't drill down through these bit by bit, but suffice to say, it's a pretty standard business strategy course where we're going to be looking at a lot of analytics for the organization, how to assess the internal environment of an organization, how to assess the external environment of the organization, and then create and draft compelling strategies for that. All right. As far as the textbook goes, you can see it here. Authors Thompson, 23rd edition, crafting strategy, concept, and cases. We're going to be using a lot of the case studies from this textbook. All right. And there'll be some other stuff as we go along here. That'll bring up some additional readings that I'll post to the announcements board, things like that. So you shouldn't be miss anything here. Grading, academic honesty policy. This is the same for every syllabus, drops and withdrawals, so I can let you go through that at your leisure here. All right, as far as what we are going to be doing each week, and I know this is a big complaint with regards to online courses, but really it's a strictly online course, one that's not a hybrid or an on-the-ground course. It's kind of difficult to find a compelling way to get people to interact with each other asynchronously outside of posting videos like this and outside of writing in discussion boards. So I know, love it or hate it, we do have discussion boards. Thankfully, though, the discussion boards are very focused in terms of what you're going to be writing about. All right, so each week, most of the weeks, you're going to have a discussion. All right, so for instance, this week we're going to be talking about none other than Airbnb. So once you've read the required materials here, there's a case study in the book about Airbnb back in 2018. All right, hopefully you've used Airbnb before. Hopefully this is a business that is familiar to you. All right, and there'll be some specific questions to ask, or that they're going to be that they're asking here. So, engaging in the sharing economy, concept of sharing economy, what the value proposition is for a particular customer. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Hopefully this isn't anything new, but yes, do an initial post, and then it's the same standard stuff. At least 2 comments, just something kind of substantive. Something more than, oh wow, that's cool, I agree, and you should be fine. All right. So usually there's something due by Thursday, another thing due by Friday, and then just a little brief kind of follow-up at the end on Saturday. All right, so I'm not looking for much, I'm looking for quality over quantity here. So have you answered the specific discussion questions? Disgusting questions is probably right for some of you. Have you actively engaged in the discussion, and have you taken away something from the discussion? And I'm going to try and jump in as much as possible. I won't be able to comment on every one of your discussion posts for every week. That is a huge amount of work, but I'm going to try and offer my insight, or maybe more of a general comment that you can look at yourself for each of these here. So most of the weeks we're going to have one of those due. So we have one due in week 1, week 2, 3, nothing in week 4, that's for the midterm, and then 5, 6, and 7, and nothing in week 8. So we're going to have 6 discussion posts overall. As far as the assignments go, we have chapter quizzes. So each chapter that you read, there's just a short multiple choice quiz. I believe this, I have it set that you can retake this. No, never mind. So it's a one and done. Although they're fairly straightforward. If you've read the chapter, if you've done an honest effort of reading the chapter, it should be fairly easy for you. And again, you have a lot of time to get these completed. So hopefully these don't cause you a lot of stress here. But there's going to be a quiz for each chapter. And you'll see that we kind of bounce around a little bit. So for instance, we kind of go up through chapter 6, and skip to chapter 10, 11, and 12, and then go back to 7 and 8. So it's just a little interesting in how the course structure is set up here. So just keep that in mind. Just follow the due dates on your schedule here. There is going to be a written case assignment due in week 7 on Walt Disney Company and its diversification strategy. As we get closer to week 7, I'm going to post some additional instructions for this. I'll go into greater detail, but for now you can kind of look at what I have posted here. All right, and so just some kind of easy case questions. Well, easy as in short, but in depth. All right. And then there's no written multiple choice short answer question midterm or final exam. I actually use case studies as your examinations. All right, so you don't have to regurgitate any sort of information from memory. You'll have access to all of the course materials. All right, but it's going to be up to you to draft a compelling response to this particular case. So in this instance, we have one due on Costco. Again, hopefully a business that you're at least passingly familiar with. And then one due on Starbucks. Hopefully you find these very interesting. I absolutely love the case method. And as we get a little bit closer to week 4, I'll post another little short video and giving you some tips and tricks on how to best tackle these case studies here. And at the end of the course, we do have an assessment exam. It's not tied to the course. It is actually tied to our accreditation. All right, it's just to kind of test you and over what you've learned over the entire program. Hopefully it's very low pressure. It is a multiple choice exam. All right, but I'll have some more instructions again on this moving forward. All right, so that's it. That's it for the assignments. Hopefully it's pretty logical, pretty easy to grasp. So most of the time just a discussion post and then some case quizzes with some additional things thrown in later weeks. All right, so let's move through and let's talk a little bit about the content that we're going to be covering in this course here. So we'll start off with week 1. Now it's a fairly straightforward process again with each of these modules here. All right, so be sure to read the chapter. All right, we'll have some notes, right, about the particular chapter in question, about the information, stuff like that. So, for instance, here talking about what's going on with strategy and why it's important. Got some stuff to look through here, right? And then have some instructor notes regarding chapter 2, charting a company and its direction, mission, vision, values, and strategy. Cool. All right, so we'd look over that stuff. All right, and then we would get to the activities page. So this is just giving you a detail in terms of what we're covering for this week. All right, so here, right, it's saying be sure to read chapter 1 and chapter 2. All right, participate in this discussion, right, and the student introduction, and then complete these 2 quizzes and this written assignment. All right, so if you're ever in doubt on what we're doing for this week, just go to the activities page, right, and you should be good to go. And that would take you to the end of this week here. So what I am going to do on every Monday, I'm going to upload a short video lecture much like this one. This week's is going to be a little bit late because I'm doing the introduction video here. But I'm going to post a short 15-minute video kind of giving a brief lecture on the content covered in those chapters and then hopefully clarifying any sort of sticking points that you might have. All right, so be sure to, and I'm going to post those to the just the announcements section. So you'll see an announcement regarding each of these video lecture posts. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. Once you've participated in all of the discussions, once you've done the chapter quizzes, you've done the written assignment, then you are good to go for that week. My advice, obviously, for an online course like this is to don't fall behind. It is pretty easy to get kind of buried in the reading. 2 chapters is a lot in 1 week to complete, all right, but it is very doable within an 8-week time frame. So as long as you're being diligent, you set aside a little bit of time each day to tackle these concepts and tackle the readings. The course should be pretty enjoyable, hopefully, for you. I think a lot of students like this particular course because it challenges you to draw upon a lot of your own critical thinking abilities. All of the case studies that we're going to be reading in this course don't have a definitive answer. All right. So if you're able to, logically argue for a particular course of action, then that's a great skill set to hone and demonstrate. All right. These case studies are designed to be presented in a way that it's like tackling a real-world issue as a manager. Right? Hence why I love teaching this course so much, and it's just fun. We cover a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of interesting stuff, and I'll try and tie it back to real life examples as much as I can through these video lectures. Okay? So if you have any questions about, one last thing, here, let me switch back to the other screen. One last thing, if you have any general questions, you can post them here in this pinned discussion, the general questions section. Now, I have to actually unlock this here so I can, so you guys can start posting here. So we'll, I don't know, we'll just set it for March. What is it, the 21st? Yeah, 2022, and then we'll pin it to the end of the course here so we can, whoops, not 2070, not 2122 either. All right, we'll just, I don't know, we'll just set it through May 22nd. That should give us enough time. Okay. So I am subscribed to this particular discussion thread, so I should get notifications if you post a question in here, but it doesn't always happen. I don't know what happens here. I try to check this general discussion thread as much as possible to answer your questions. Okay, but it's not always reliable. So if you have a really pressing question or something that needs to be addressed immediately, be sure to reach out to me via direct email or send me a text message. That would be the quickest way of getting back to you. Okay, but if you have just kind of a general question, or you want to ask, maybe a question about the material to your classmates that's not really covered in the discussion posts here, then this would be the forum for that. Okay, so. Yeah, I'm happy to entertain any questions. Feel free to reach out this week about the material. So be sure to tackle chapter 1 and 2, and then get to the discussion post by this Thursday. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to reading your introductions. Thanks.